So anyway, Chief, oh, just a second, Chief. Hi, I'm Plastic Man. Welcome to the show. For those of you who don't know, this is my show. I am a superhero and quite possibly the best superhero there is. Right, Chief?
Frankly, no.
Plastic Man, also known as Patrick Eel O'Brien, is a unique figure in the superhero world, notable for his humor and distinct set of abilities. First appearing in Police Comics #1, Plastic Man was originally a character from Quality Comics, later acquired by DC Comics. His creator, Jack Cole, made Plastic Man one of the first superheroes to blend humor into action-packed storytelling, distinguishing him from the more serious heroes of his time. This helped Plastic Man stand out, making him a prominent figure during the golden age of comic books. Despite never achieving immense commercial success, he has garnered a loyal following and is often a favorite among modern comic creators. His ability to stretch, mold, and alter his form into any shape is paired with his comedic personality, making him one of the more versatile characters in comic book history. Plastic Man's origin is as colorful as his personality. Born as Patrick Eel O'Brien, he led a life of crime, specifically as a safecracker, before a life-altering event turned him into a superhero. During a robbery at the Crawford Chemical Works, O'Brien was doused with a mysterious chemical after being shot by a night watchman. His criminal associates abandoned him, leaving him to die from his wounds and the effects of the chemicals. However, fate had other plans. O'Brien was rescued by a monk who not only tended to his wounds, but also gave him a second chance at life by showing him kindness and forgiveness. This pivotal moment caused O'Brien to reflect on his criminal life and prompted him to reform. The chemical he had been exposed to had also given him extraordinary abilities. His body could now stretch, twist, and mold into any conceivable shape. With this new gift, O'Brien adopted the identity of Plastic Man, a hero who used his unique powers to fight crime and seek redemption for his past. Plastic Man's ability to change shape, stretch to impossible lengths, and mold himself into any object became his signature power, allowing him to fight crime with a blend of slapstick humor and genuine heroism. His journey as a hero was not solitary, as he soon acquired a sidekick named Woozy Winks. Woozy was initially imbued with a magical charm that made him impervious to harm, but even after losing this ability, he remained Plastic Man's bumbling but loyal companion. Together, they navigated crime fighting with an unconventional mix of absurdity and heroism. Plastic Man was groundbreaking not just for his powers, but for the way his stories incorporated humor into the superhero genre.
I saved the city.
Do tell, do tell!
Unlike many other superheroes of the Golden Age, who were portrayed as stoic and serious, Plastic Man's adventures were full of quirky, surreal humor and slapstick comedy. This made his stories distinct and enjoyable for readers who were looking for something lighter in the midst of the more somber hero tales of the time. What's more, Plastic Man's brand of comedy predates the lighthearted, quippy humor that would later become a signature of characters like Spider-Man. Long before Peter Parker's witty banter and sarcastic jabs, Plastic Man was making readers laugh with his offbeat antics and comedic situations, establishing a unique blend of humor and heroism in mainstream comics. The character's humorous nature was a product of Jack Cole's unique artistic and storytelling style. Cole's work on Plastic Man pushed the boundaries of what comic book storytelling could be, using exaggerated visual gags and a playful narrative structure. Plastic Man's elastic body allowed Cole to create inventive and often absurd situations that would be impossible with more traditional superheroes. This combination of physical comedy and crime fighting made Plastic Man a memorable character during the golden age of comics. When Quality Comics folded in 1956, DC Comics acquired Plastic Man along with several other characters. The transition to DC would see Plastic Man interacting with more mainstream heroes within the DC universe. Although he remained a cult favorite, Plastic Man was never a massive commercial success. Still, his influence endured, and many creators within DC found ways to integrate him into significant storylines.
It was going to be an inevitability because of the rise of graphic novels in the bookstores and the attention that's been given to them over the last decade.
One of the most notable instances of this was during Grant Morrison's run on Justice League in the 1990s. Morrison, known for his innovative approach to superhero narratives, included Plastic Man as a key member of the League. Plastic Man's comedic personality and unique powers provided a counterbalance to the more serious and powerful heroes like Superman and Batman. His involvement with the Justice League highlighted not just his abilities, but also his significance. Plastic Man's inclusion in the Justice League was pivotal during key story arcs, such as Rock of Ages, where Batman recruited him to infiltrate Lex Luthor's Injustice League, disguised as the Joker. His immunity to Circe's magic, which had the ability to transform humans into animals, also showed the extent of his powers. In many cases, Plastic Man was able to outwit or outlast enemies that other heroes could not, thanks to his elasticity and near invulnerability. Plastic Man's story took several turns over the years, particularly with the advent of Crisis on Infinite Earths in the 1980s. The character was reimagined in a 4-issue miniseries by Phil Foglio, giving Plastic Man a more modern, cynical edge while still maintaining the humor that made him popular. In this version, O'Brien is portrayed as a man struggling with his identity and his powers, teaming up with Woozy Winks to navigate a world where crime and crime fighting are both attractive options. In addition to his comic series, Plastic Man has made numerous appearances in television and video games. He starred in his own animated series, The Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show, from 1979 to 1981, which further solidified his place as a character who could thrive in both action and comedy.
Not easy being a superhero in a major metropolitan city, but Plastic Man has managed to maintain his image and have one of the most popular TV shows in the country.
Plastic Man's television presence has continued in shows like Batman, The Brave and the Bold, where his humorous personality is explored in various comedic situations, often juxtaposed with Batman's serious demeanor. He has also made his way into video games, notably appearing as a playable character in LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham and LEGO DC Supervillains, where his shape-shifting powers translate perfectly into the gameplay mechanics of the LEGO universe. These appearances have introduced him to new generations of fans and cemented his status as a beloved, albeit unconventional, superhero. Beyond his humor and powers, Plastic Man's character arc delves into deeper emotional territory. The storylines often explore his dual identity as both a hero and a former criminal, questioning whether Eel O'Brien has truly changed or if his heroic persona is just another disguise. His relationship with his estranged son, Luke, further complicates his journey, especially as Luke inherits his father's shape-shifting abilities. This father-son dynamic brings out a more vulnerable side of Plastic Man, showing that even superheroes struggle with personal responsibilities and emotional baggage. In the Justice League arc, Divided We Fall, Plastic Man's internal conflict is examined when the League members are separated into their civilian and heroic identities. Eel O'Brien, now devoid of his Plastic Man persona, grapples with his darker tendencies, wondering if he has truly evolved beyond his criminal past. His journey toward reconciling his dual identities becomes a central theme, highlighting that even the most comedic characters can have a profound emotional depth. His powers are not only versatile, but also make him one of the most durable characters in the DC universe. His ability to stretch and reshape his body has no known limit, allowing him to shrink to the size of a pocket or expand to the size of a building. He can mold his body into various forms, including weapons, vehicles, or disguises, which makes him a master of both stealth and offense. In JLA 74, part of the Obsidian Age arc written by Joe Kelly, the Justice League is transported thousands of years into the past in their desperate search for Aquaman, who had mysteriously vanished. Upon their arrival in this ancient time, they encounter a powerful group of Homo Magi called the League. These magicians, ancient enemies of Aquaman, see the Justice League as an immediate threat and show no hesitation in launching a brutal attack. During the fight, Plastic Man attempts to subdue one of their enemies, a member of the League, by using his shape-shifting abilities in a dark and unexpected way. He envelops his opponent, completely encasing them within his malleable body, trying to suffocate them to death. What makes this moment truly shocking is the fury and rage Plastic Man exhibits while doing so, a sharp contrast to the typically jovial and non-violent Persona fans are familiar with. What truly sets Plastic Man apart is his invulnerability. His body can withstand conventional attacks such as bullets, explosions, and even magic. This extraordinary durability is accompanied by an ability to regenerate from almost any injury. In the Obsidian Age storyline, which takes place in Justice League of America, JLA numbers 66 to 75, the Justice League faces one of their most complex and devastating challenges, a journey back in time to ancient Atlantis that threatens not only their lives but the very fabric of their team. The story begins when an ancient Atlantean sorcerer named Gamemne rises to power and captures Aquaman, causing the entire city of Atlantis to vanish from the present day. The Justice League investigates, only to be transported thousands of years into the past, where they find themselves in a time when magic dominates and their modern abilities are put to the test. In the midst of battle with Gamemne and her powerful sorcerer allies, Plastic Man finds himself vulnerable when his unique physiology is exploited. During the conflict, Plastic Man is frozen solid by Gamemne's magic, rendering him immobile. Unable to escape, he is shattered into countless pieces and scattered across the depths of the ocean floor. His indestructible, elastic form keeps him alive, but he is completely unable to reform. For 3,000 years, Plastic Man remains conscious but isolated in his shattered form, spread across the ocean bed, unable to move or reassemble himself. This prolonged period of isolation takes an immense psychological toll on him. He is aware but trapped, experiencing an unimaginable loneliness and a deep sense of powerlessness. In the present day, the Justice League eventually locates the remnants of Plastic Man's scattered molecules using advanced technology. With the help of their combined skills and resources, the League painstakingly retrieves enough of his molecular structure to restore him to his original form. However, the experience of being conscious but immobilized for centuries leaves Plastic Man mentally and emotionally scarred. Upon his return, Plastic Man is initially hesitant to rejoin the League, his usual playful and comedic persona overshadowed by the trauma of his ordeal. His fear of vulnerability and mental strain makes him question his role as a hero. Ultimately, though, with the encouragement and support of his teammates, especially Batman, Plastic Man confronts his fears and returns to active duty. This event marks one of the darkest and most defining moments of his superhero career. He steps away from the Justice League for a time to process his trauma and reconnect with his estranged son, but eventually, the call to heroism brings him back to fight alongside the League once again. Another fascinating aspect of Plastic Man's powers is his immunity to telepathy. This, combined with his ability to stretch, regenerate, and shapeshift, makes him a formidable opponent in any battle, despite his comedic exterior. JLA number 88, 2003, titled Trial by Fire Part 5, is the fifth part of the Trial by Fire storyline, written by Joe Kelly, with art by Doug Mahnke. This arc explores deep psychological and cosmic themes, focusing on Martian Manhunter's transformation into a villain known as Furnace the Burning Martian. Furnace is the embodiment of all the violent, destructive instincts of the Martian race that John Johns, Martian Manhunter, had kept repressed. The storyline centers on Martian Manhunter's struggle to suppress his darker side, which manifests as Furnace. This powerful being is a threat not only to the Justice League, but to the entire planet. Furnace, who thrives on fear and destruction, is nearly unstoppable. His power surpasses that of the League's combined forces, and he has none of the weaknesses that Martian Manhunter had, including his vulnerability to fire. His goal is to exterminate all life on Earth, and the Justice League is in a desperate race against time to stop him. In this issue, the Justice League is reeling from Furnace's attacks. The transformation of Martian Manhunter into Furnace is not only a physical and mental threat, but also a personal betrayal, as one of their most trusted and beloved members has become their greatest enemy. The League members are physically overmatched, and must find new ways to challenge this overwhelming power. One of the key moments in JLA number 88 is when Plastic Man's unusual mental properties become vital to the Justice League's fight against Furnace. Furnace, being an extremely powerful telepath, is able to manipulate and read the minds of most individuals easily, but when he attempts to telepathically attack or control Plastic Man, he finds it impossible. Plastic Man's immunity to telepathy is a result of his highly flexible and unpredictable mind. His body, being completely malleable and capable of taking any shape, extends to his brain functions as well. His consciousness does not operate in a normal, linear fashion like a typical human mind. Instead, his thoughts and mental processes are as fluid and unstable as his body, making him resistant to telepathic assaults. While Furnace is mentally overpowering other members of the League, Plastic Man's immunity allows him to stay in the fight and help develop a strategy to combat Furnace. It's a rare example of Plastic Man being crucial in a highly serious and cosmic-level conflict, where his often comedic abilities turn out to be one of the team's best defenses. Plastic Man may not have the iconic status of Superman or Batman, but his influence on the superhero genre is undeniable. He was one of the first superheroes to introduce humor into the mix, setting the stage for more lighthearted characters in future comic book stories. His blend of comedy, action, and emotional depth has made him a fan favorite among both readers and creators alike. Throughout his publication history, Plastic Man has evolved from a quirky Golden Age hero to a more complex character who grapples with identity, responsibility, and redemption. His interactions with the Justice League and other heroes have shown that even the most comedic characters can have a significant impact on the larger narrative of the DC universe. As a shape-shifting, crime-fighting, wisecracking hero, Plastic Man continues to be a unique figure in the pantheon of superheroes, proving that laughter and heroism can go hand in hand.